Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show pre-show. Today we are waiting for the Horror Show news to start, so we are going to let everyone filter in while I unbox the newest BAM Horror Box, which obviously being September almost being over, I'm guessing that this is the September box. So let's take a look at this. I just stabbed this into myself and it didn't penetrate anything, but it wasn't comfortable either. So, alright, BAM Horror Box, here we go. And I might need to take care of something there in the edit, but here we go. Let me open this up and see what we got for this month. Oh yeah, okay. Get rid of the knife. And let's have a little bit of questionability. And alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the pin for this month. Let's see if I can recognize what it is. Oh man, that's clearly... Okay, I'm going to show you guys and give you a second to think on it. What do you think that is? I think that's clearly Machete, right? Machete from Robert Rodriguez, Machete. I'm guessing that's Machete. If I'm wrong, I'll be very surprised. Alright, next thing is... looks like we got another art card this month. Well, hang on, it feels like this is another scratch off. Yep. Scratch off ticket. We'll put that aside. Art card. Let's check what the art card is. Oh, that's dope. Wait, who is that supposed to be? It's the villain, but it could be a villain for a number of different things. Okay, so let me get your guys' opinion. Who is that? It's not Chrome Skull, right? Because it's not Chrome Skull's knife that he's using. I don't know who that's supposed to be. We'll have to check the sheet that tells what everything's supposed to be this month. Interesting. Alright, so I'm gonna take the big item next. What is that? So, I have no idea what this is, but it is heavy duty. It is actually very heavy. So this one, it's like... I was like, is it a Freddy glove? Is it a mirror with crystals behind it? But then you have this yellow face? I do not know what that is off the top of my head. I'm curious to know if any of you guys can name it before I find out what it is by checking the actual info sheet in here. So far, I'm a little underwhelmed by this box, I gotta be honest. So now we're down to the art print and the signed celebrity autograph. So the first one is the art print, which is cool, but so this appears to be, it's not Reanimator, it's the other one. This is From Beyond, I believe. This has to be From Beyond, right? Because it's got the Reanimator in it, and then it's got the doctor guy that goes crazy. And the Lovecraftian tentacles coming in. So that, yeah, I believe that's From Beyond. I have to get that one right. I think I'm right on that one. Alright, so that's the art print. That's a cool art print. And then let's take a look at the celebrity signature for the month. Alright. Okay, so this is Leatherface from Part 2. Boom. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, signed by Leatherface. And let's double check the name on that to make sure I get it right here. So that is signed by Bob Elmore. Okay. Bob Elmore. I don't have Bob Elmore's signature on my shirt, my Coexist shirt. So let's see. You're the first girl Bubba's brought home to dinner. Okay, that's the quote. Okay, not technically spoken by this actor, but he's more of the silent but deadly type. September's autograph is Leatherface from the disturbing Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, played by Bob Elmore. Okay, so I definitely need this signature on the Coexist shirt, but here we have it on the print for Texas Chainsaw Part 2. That's pretty cool. So the collector's pin... enjoy this month's awesome Grindhouse-inspired pin set by artist Tom Ryan. While most people receive Trejo as Machete, keep an eye on the trading community for the rest of the set. So, okay, so here's the set down here. So it looks like you have the car from Death Proof, and then, yeah, you have the machine gun leg girl from the zombie one. I forgot what the zombie one was called. But yeah, both part of Grindhouse. Okay, so I got the machete pin right. The prop... No, Artist Alley, let's do that. So check out these awesome and gross, if you've seen the movie and understand, designs from Chris Meeks. Okay, that's this one here. Enjoy From Beyond design and the variant. This is the variant, believe it or not. We got the upgraded variant, it appears. Because the other one, the normal one, is this one right here. Where it's just the doctor and the heads of the other characters. I quite like this one much better, actually. I think we got the better print out of that. That's pretty cool. We got the limited From Beyond print. That one is pretty dope. The prop item, which is this thing right here. So it is a very realistic replica of the beautiful hairpin worn by Akasha from Queen of the Damned. Okay. Directed by Michael Reimer and written by Anne Rice. Wow, so the old Aaliyah picture. That is what her hairpin looked like, apparently. That's kind of cool. Queen of the Damned? That's reaching back. Interesting. It's kind of cool looking, though. It is an interesting, unique piece, I gotta say. And then finally, the art card. Let's see what the art card is. So, continuing our sketch card villain series as Alfred Hitchcock-inspired set by artist Jason Miller. Check out our community to find one of a hand-drawn sketch cards. So I don't know what that... guys, here we go. I've never seen the Hitchcock movies. I've seen The Birds, and that's it. I haven't seen any other Hitchcock movies, so I don't know who this is. I don't know if they're intending it to be Psycho? With the house there? Is that intended to be Psycho? Is that what that's supposed to be? Psycho? Jesus. You can barely see the house. Wow, okay. Well, maybe it's Psycho and you just don't know what the house is. But anyway, Hitchcock series, they don't clarify, but that's what that is. So, alright. So that's going to do it for this month's BAM Horror Box. I'll put the link to our BAM Horror Box in the description box down below if you're interested to get one for yourself. Thank you guys very much, and on to the news.
I'm Satan, your Lord of Darkness, and you're watching The Horror Show! Ha 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 ha! Welcome back, ghouls and girls, to The Horror Show! Slam a drink, grab a seat, it's news with booze!
What's up, everyone? I'm Cecil Laird.
And Jaime Fuego here.
And this is your Horror Show News with booze.
Salute, sir.
Cha-ching.
Ching-a-ling-a-ding-ding.
Guys, I remembered the intro first time out. Usually it takes me a second to remember how to do that. Alright. Nice ass, Cecil. Thank you, Corey. Ooh. Yeah, it was Fuego's crotch and my ass.
Yeah.
So...
They don't go together, guys. They
No,
don't.
no. Look, you got to have one great thing. Fuego's got the great front. I got the great patoot. But hey, everyone.
F you, Marcia.
Yeah. Well,
Getting a little trolled by our awesome dear Marcia Parker.
so let's make sure at the very start of this,
Yeah.
let's hit everyone with what we're drinking today.
Yeah.
Me, it's the usual. It is 2 shots of vodka. Today it is New Amsterdam vodka. And then it is one single can of pineapple juice and a splash of cran grape to make it this lovely peach tree color. Ooh, I got the hiccups, so Fuego, take over.
Yeah, and I'm the basic bitch as per usual, and that's because of the fact that throughout a good chunk of the month of September,
drinks Zima.
I was already Zow. Throughout a good chunk
Zima.
During a good chunk of September, though, I deviated from my seltzers and my low-calorie sort of beverages, and I had some IPAs. I had a delicious pumpkin porter, which is put out by, Four Peaks Brewery, and I am a sucker for pumpkin beer, and Cecil has made fun of me, because when we were at that bar...
I can't make fun of you because I just got...
I just love all things pumpkin, dude.
So my girlfriend has her birthday 2 days after mine, and she likes these... There's a place locally called Nothing Bunt Cakes, and they make really
I haven't
awesome
heard of it.
bunt cakes.
Yes.
And they do these things. They have this variety pack, which is a buntini variety pack.
Ooh, so
and
it's like little booties?
It's little tiny,
little
yes,
bunts?
it's little bunts, little bunt cakes, and it's 4 different flavors of
Nothing
each different kind of
inappropriate
bunt
here,
cake.
by the way.
And I got them, and knowing my girl, I had to get a separate bunt cake that was the pumpkin spice bunt cake that was seasonal.
Yes.
And let me say that she loved half of that bunt cake. Because that's all that was left for her by the time she got to it.
Oh, I see.
Happy half birthday?
Yeah.
Here's half your bunt cake.
It's not quite the equivalent of Homer giving Marge a bowling ball, but still.
Yeah, it's not far off. This is for you and me.
Yeah, exactly. At
all
last,
right.
we can share everything.
So let's say hi to everyone in the chitty chat
Indeed,
chat
indeed.
bang. That is
We
the
miss you, Robert. I see
chatty
Robert's
chat
in the-
bang bang. Maybe I should I think
Chatty
there's
chatty
something
bang
there.
bang?
Yeah, chatty bang bang. I don't know if anyone's
something
ever
there.
said that before.
Something there.
There's something there.
Yeah,
We'll, have to,
I
we'll,
feel
we'll
it.
workshop it.
I feel it.
So let's say hi to the people in the chat. We have Everything Horror. What's up, Everything Horror? We got Robert the Wolfman, who was too busy working out to come with us today. Son of a...
Yes.
And then Kristopher, but he was also procuring the domain name for the business that I'm going to be helping him with, and
Yeah.
it is an exciting business, guys. Once this shit gets going with Robert, it's going to be something that every single one of you horror lovers and drinkers, especially fans of the News with Booze, are going to want to take part in. So very excited about that. So shout out to Iron Turtle Meadery. Pretty fucking rad. So Jake Slider is here, and Matthias Canuck is here as well. We have
Corey
Joshua
Novak,
Sarantine,
Austin
Corey
Bunnell.
Novak, Austin Bunnell,
Yeah.
Christopher Muller. We have Ms. Morning 79. What's going on? Robbie Sharp earlier on. Juan Martinez.
Yes.
William Turnbull
Michael M.
giving us, when we read this, Fuego and I, you guys couldn't hear us, but we were like, the waiting is the hardest part. Absolutely. The little...
Thinking of Homer Simpson waiting for his gun, that he was like, but I'm mad now.
Oh, shit. So results may vary 7. I love these kinds of things. Cheers, gentlemen, from Daniel in Sweden. Okay.
Yeah.
Daniel,
Well,
you're
they
in
make the
Sweden right
best
now? That's
metal
fucking
in-
rad.
They make the best metal in the world. I
No.
mean,
You know what they make? It's like... Well, no. Maybe I'm thinking of Switzerland. I got to be careful. I don't want to offend anyone.
no, Sweden.
No,
I
Sweden.
mean,
Sweden are
Gothenburg and
notoriously.
Stockholm, like
yeah.
the best places for
Look,
metal
here's why
on
I
the
know
planet.
Sweden. I know Sweden for PewDiePie. Okay,
Ah.
PewDiePie hails from Sweden, and so
But from where?
he's waging a war on Norway right now.
Oh, well,
PewDiePie.
they're all. I think they're all technically Scandinavia, if I'm not mistaken, like Norway and Sweden.
I
and-
won't. Dude, geography was
Yeah.
one of my worst things growing up. I won't pretend to know where like that could be in Mexico.
We could get
for all I know.
get some proper clarification here if there's a willingness. But
anyway, thank you for watching, Daniel. I appreciate. I love knowing when people around the world are watching us. I absolutely love that.
Because this is actually a slightly better time for a lot of our European friends because it's like midday over there.
Yeah, well, look,
it's like in the middle of the workday for most people.
So if you guys didn't know, there's a couple of really awesome shows happening in October. One of which is going to be the launch of my new monthly, hopefully flagship show called Elevator Pitch, where every single month we're going to have a new guest on to go against me, and we are going to need another person to be the moderator, to interact with chat while we're thinking of our pitches throughout the thing. So I know I talked to Robert about doing one. I'm sure you would like to do one as well.
You talked to me about it a long time back when you first came up with the idea as well. So I mean,
exactly.
you could rotate moderators, maybe bring in some of the girls. I mean,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Get some different flavor in there. But that is going to be launching on October 24th, me versus Dave McCrae.
Yeah.
So lots of really cool stuff coming this month. In addition to, we are going to be reviewing Lamb next week. We're going to be reviewing Halloween Kills the following week, which we get access to a few days early via a home link.
I've heard it's so strange.
We just got sent I mean, it's in my house, but the show just got sent an 85-inch 4K Ultra HD TV to review on the channel, so we're going to be doing that. Fuego and I
some of the weird perkies.
We just watched watched a brand new Netflix movie. There's Someone Inside Your House that is releasing this upcoming week. So we actually just got on the Netflix screener list. So now we're going to be able to start reviewing. Like, for instance, our review for Midnight Mass would have already been up by now had we been on the list a week prior. But now we're going to be able to get access to horror Netflix stuff early to watch.
Yeah, because we've had like in theater press for a long time, but it's the digital sectors that we just haven't really looked into as much as we probably should.
My next thing I want to crack is the sci-fi list, so we can get those Chucky episodes early.
And also Hulu and Prime. I mean, Chauncey was mentioning some of the direct people that actually go through to get some of those screeners through them, and then even Shudder AMC, because those two are in affiliation. Ben Grimm, howdy, good sir.
What up, Ben Grimm? What up, Emily
on?
Edlund? Lots of news. It looks like, tons of news. We haven't even gotten into it yet. We have a lot to talk about today. A little bit of it too. So. Arnie is here. Oh man, can't wait to see the news stories. And Matthias Canuck. Sweden is the land where the great melodic death metal band In Flames hails from.
Of course. Why do you think my name is Jaime in Fuego? It used to be James in Flames, and I had some cooks that I was working with in a restaurant at the time in the Southwest, and they came up with this silly moniker of mine, and then being in the Deadly Desert, I just trimmed it down to Fuego. But I mean, Jester Race and Colony is probably my favorite In Flames album. As far as later ones go, Sense of Purpose is terrific. Their newest is awesome. But, I mean, we are talking Soilwork, The Haunted, Arch Enemy. The list goes on. There are so many amazing ones. Anyway.
Okay, a lot to touch on here. Okay, oh my God, this is exciting. I love the audience interaction tonight. Guys, we are the perfect level of drinking right now. Like, neither of us is too much. We're like at a fun level, so let's get it going. So first off, let me say, I want to get back to Results May Vary, the person that's in Sweden. They sent a long message, but first, Arnie, can't wait for the Halloween movie. I'm actually really excited about it also. I'm not usually a Michael Myers fan, but knowing what I know about this movie based on things I've heard, based on talking to someone that watched this movie a year ago in a press screening, more than a year ago, this is going to be my kind of Halloween movie because of the body count alone.
And I'm right there with you too, man. I mean, the trailer, I didn't like 2018 that much.
I enjoyed it. Again, I think it's my third favorite Halloween movie.
I didn't dislike it.
Third or fourth favorite Halloween movie.
But I significantly preferred H2O, and so for that reason, I thought some of the retconning I was a little averse to it, but that seems to be the industry kind of standard at this particular point. But, I am very much about just the gruesome carnage of the most recent trailer. And so for that reason, I mean, especially what McCrae said on that long stream he did with you and Robert, where he's like, I've read the script, and he's like, he's just going on slaughtering
pretty
people.
gory.
And I was like, okay.
Gory.
I was like, I'm kind of down to see a less methodical kind of hiding behind the bushes sort of Michael Myers, and more so just going all out, and he's past the point of timidity maybe. And
now here's the other question. So following up for Arnie, says, is Shudder any good? Is Shudder still $5
for the price?
If Shudder is still $5 a month, which is what it was when I signed up like 2 years ago,
it's either $4 or $5.99.
If it's either way, if it's $5 or $6 a month, it is 100% worth it. You get Creepshow. You get the History of Horror, right? Is History of Horror on Shudder as well?
History of Horror is Eli Roth's show. You also get the history of the sci-fi that James Cameron has curated.
You get on there. Isn't that where In Search of Darkness drops too?
Yes, In Search of Darkness.
In Search of Darkness, Part 1 and 2 drops. The Tom Savini documentary is on there. The Kane Hodder documentary, I believe, is on there as well.
And lots of brand new exclusives too from all over the world. So if you really want
I'm going to keep going back to Creepshow, because Creepshow by itself, in my opinion, is worth $5.
Yeah.
It's $5 for 1 month. Binge as much on Shudder as you want. You will never have spent a better $5 for horror content than that month.
Yeah, you will spend $5-6 on a single film rental.
Channel Zero, isn't that all on Shudder as well?
It's either Shudder or it migrated over to Netflix. I can't remember.
Let me double check.
But the big thing is that you've got so much old giallo. You've got stuff from Korea.
New stuff.
So much new stuff from all over the world. You've got stuff from South America. You've got stuff from all over Eastern Asia. You've got
Channel Zero. All 4 seasons are still on Shudder.
That's awesome. Great European horror. So there are series to binge. There are so many great films to binge. You could go into a deep dive into just weird older stuff from the 60s and the 70s too, which after they were acquired by AMC the cable channel, and who I think is owned by Viacom if I'm not mistaken, but they just had such an influx of content. It was like 10 times in comparison with what they previously offered. So Shudder is the shit. And Joe Bob. How can I forget Joe Bob?
Joe Bob, The Last Drive-In
reminded me
on Shudder.
Yeah, that's where I met Ben. Was at the Joe Bob panel.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you actually met Ben Grimm.
Texas Frightmare.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I must have missed him then.
I was alone at that panel.
Okay.
You and Susie were running around, and I sat down, and Ben was super kind and recognized me and walked up and said hello, and we chatted for a bit, and it was super cool. So, yeah.
Hal Whalebrenner is here. Hopefully you and Sandra are doing well, Hal. Hello. Police are scary on our audits. All right, I'll stay away from the convenience stores in Mesa tonight for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's Sandra's husband, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Asian horror freaks me out so good. Okay, yep. Thank you, Browse, for your input. I thought Channel Zero was on AMC Plus. It's on Shudder. I just checked. So all 4 seasons are definitely on Shudder. Well,
as Ben clarified though, so AMC purchased Shudder.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of stuff.
So AMC Plus. Okay, so there's crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair
exactly.
Enough.
So
not saying it's not on AMC Plus, just saying I know for sure it's on Shudder because I just looked.
Yeah, and that's like I have AMC Plus and I have not been utilizing it properly to watch like War of the Worlds and early access to The Walking Dead new episodes and stuff like that. So
new Bruce Campbell movie, I'm interested. Okay, that's 10 stories from now and we haven't started story number 1 yet.
And aside from a synopsis, we don't know anything about it beyond the fact that there's Bruce Campbell and Devon Sawa in a movie together, which just...
And Michael Jai White, I found out when looking for a picture, yeah.
Hey, Jai White, I mean, playing...
Spawn.
Spawn and playing Jax in that, Mortal Kombat, what was it? Legends? Legacy?
Legacy,
yeah. And I just watched that new Mortal Kombat animated today.
I know, I haven't watched that.
It's okay.
Hey, did you get to the Titan screening?
I did not, since nobody else wanted to go. Dude, since nobody else wanted to go...
you carry us on some of that artistic shit.
Driving all the way out to Scottsdale 101 and by myself. I know. But was I going to do a solo review of that?
Yeah, I was planning on letting you do a solo review, and we're having Monty on to review it with you.
No, I don't know if he was available, unfortunately. So that would have been
available.
I don't even know if he was at.
If it was just you, I'll bet he would have been. I bet he did. He posted a review on his Coda. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he might.
Shout out to Monty Yazzie and his reviews on Coda Films, right?
I mean, I was so appreciative about the Curiosity of Titan.
No, Elvira's having a new special on Netflix, Ms. Morning. We actually just did a trailer reaction. We are dropping a trailer reaction roundup tomorrow. I already have edited it for the most part. It's going to be about 35 minutes. We looked at like 9 new things, including the Elvira Netflix stuff. So I'm hoping that they're trying to position Elvira to be the Netflix Joe Bob.
Yeah.
Right? So
It
Joe Bob is
really
on
makes
Shudder,
sense.
Elvira's on Netflix. Us horror fans are fucking happy.
Yes,
like, who cares?
exactly. And
give
shout-
Elvira Friday night. Give Joe Bob Saturday night.
And shout out to...
Let's do it.
And shout out to Cassandra being able to finally be comfortable in her own skin and, just announce her part of the LGBTQ community. It's
Ben Grimm.
awesome.
Ben Grimm says Titan was crazy. It was good.
Yeah. And
watched it today.
Yeah.
And then Joshua Sarantine, I heard Titan was crazy.
Yeah,
We did a trailer reaction to it.
It's body
it was
horror, and it's from the same director as Raw.
We did a trailer reaction to it. It was appropriately crazy in the trailer that we watched.
The trailer was bonkers. It looked a little more frenetically, like, just loud in your face than
You're right,
than
Ben.
Raw.
She did have her 40th anniversary thing on Shudder last week, but I went to try and watch it after the fact. I couldn't find it. I think it was just a live event only. I didn't see it actually put up afterwards.
Okay.
But yes, tell me if I'm wrong, Ben. Did they put up Elvira's thing afterwards, or was that just a live event? Because I missed it.
Yeah, Ben is very in the know.
Yeah,
so.
no, Ben's right. They did have a Shudder special with Elvira on it, but I didn't see it afterwards. And I know Netflix is the big thing that's happening now in October. So, all right. So let's start with story number one.
Yeah, let's get to it. And this is actually a story that we've talked about a little bit here and there already. And I have expressed a little bit of trepidation about this already, especially after we watched the Atomic Monster film tonight, which James Wan produced, but
again, we
had
watched.
no
We watched. There's
involvement
someone
in
inside your house.
Inside your house, which was delayed a number of times and struggled to find a direct release date.
I can
on
see.
Netflix.
I can see it being a popular movie. It's not for us.
With a certain type of crowd.
It is. It is a very
Okay, maybe
It's a
some
very
age
Scream-like
group.
movie, dude. It
Age-
is a very Scream-like movie.
No, it derives a lot of inspiration, but dude, I thought Fear Street was so superior in every possible capacity. Not that I loved Fear Street, and that's actually kind of a slight on There's Someone Inside Your House if I'm saying that Fear Street was significantly superior.
Oh, I don't know that I'd say that.
At least in 90. I personally would. Art is subjective.
I mean, part one was.
Part one was,
Okay.
and I enjoyed two. By the time they got around to the lore in the third one, we discussed them on a review roundup. So
we did.
It is what it is. But it's just Gary Doberman that I have major reservations about because of the fact that I really liked The Nun, and you did not like The Nun. Remember when me and Dirk were the ones who liked The Nun, and then who else reviewed it?
I don't know, but dude,
I feel like
look,
there was a fourth person
in my
there. When
I did my
was very
favorite
Hammer-
horror movie
it
of
was
the
very
90s.
Hammer
Did you
horror.
watch my favorite horror movie of the 90s?
I watched all of them.
So when I brought up Demon Knight and The Nun's identical endings, you saw The Nun literally stole Demon Knight's ending.
I don't know
That's
if
why I hated The Nun.
I don't know if that was cognizant. I liked.
Are you fucking kidding me? It was exactly the same.
I liked Frenchie, and I liked all of the
She
inspiration
drinks the
from
blood
Hammer
to
horror.
spit in the face of the demon. That's exactly what happens.
Well, Doberman also,
Oof.
as some may argue, is the one who messed up, the second part of it, and he is a protege of James Wan's for a long time now. Right?
Ah! Galford's dog. I gotta shout that out. Shout out to Galford's dog saying her name is Elvira now.
Yeah, hey.
I
Sexuality
mean, look,
we're not.
That's a clever play on words. Like, I'm giving credit for the clever play on words.
Yeah.
I'm giving credit for the clever play on words. I'm not being bigoted.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. I'm sorry, but that's funny.
Well, and as she joked about in some recent interviews, she was just like, I know I've been like a sexual desire of many men, and she's like, well, that's not where I'm at, so
That doesn't matter.
Sorry.
That doesn't. What does that matter to us?
Yeah.
Well, we don't like lesbian porn. What do we?
No,
care?
we're veering.
I'm just saying. I'm just like, what? When has that ever? When has the fact that the lady you're fantasizing about doesn't like men ever stopped a man? I'm just saying.
In any event, Salem's Lot, by the way, the reason it's the top story,
I've had
everybody,
too much to
and
drink,
obviously
maybe.
hail to Stephen King.
Is that controversial? What I say? I don't
necessarily think so. I think the love of two women is very nice to
I'm just
see,
saying,
but
it's not
I'm
gonna
not.
stop some people from.
I mean,
it's not,
sometimes temperance of discussion.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm the showrunner, and I'm making a movie that's going to be widely consumed. Maybe I should reel it in a little bit.
But the big thing that I have reservations. I have reservations about Doberman.
Sure.
And so and I said reservations.
Yeah,
I think it was
was
actually
that not on purpose?
It was deliberate at that particular
Okay,
point to
all
play
right.
at the News with Booze, but. Yeah, man. I thought that this was going to be another one of those projects where we hear about it and then we're like, okay, is it actually going to happen? Is it actually going to happen? And yet it has been dated by Warner Brothers for September 9th, 2022. They are supposed to be starting to film near the end of the year.
Everything horror is trying to keep me on track.
Salem's
Salem's Lot, guys.
And the casting announcements continue to start rolling through. Most notably, the one that I sent to you was William Sadler. Demon Knight.
You sent me that.
becoming a
You
part
sent
of
me
this.
that, and I was like, "This is not story enough." And I was like, "Wait, did we actually cover the Salem's Lot
I think
thing
he's
yet?"
going to be Father Callahan. Which
I don't
would be
remember
really
covering.
Awesome.
Did we cover this story before in a
Yes,
previous?
yeah, we did. It was just a while back. It's
Then you
because,
got one by me,
It's
Fuego.
because we didn't have an update for
William
the longest
Sadler's
goddamn
update
time.
was not enough of an update for me to
But
consider
that's why
this.
I put the two different. They dated it, and then they
Oh, they
also
dated it too.
Yeah,
Okay,
and they've
okay.
just been adding more.
Did you
stuff
tell
like
everyone the date?
September 9th. I just said it a moment ago.
I'm just saying if that's the whole reason
And they
we're
also
covering this.
cast the kids who are going to be like Glick and so on.
Okay.
So
Glick?
uh,
That's a character?
yes.
Okay. No, I'm just like, I don't know, bro. So I'm like,
No,
like
you're
Glick
fine.
is a
You're fine.
character? Okay.
Well, it's the last.
It sounds like
It's
Gleek.
the last name of the
Sounds
kid.
like Gleek, which
Yeah.
is to me that's how people like spit on
Yeah.
people with like their tongue.
Yeah, William Sadler just started filming Salem's Lot based on Stephen King's terrifying novel. He jumped on Twitter to talk about it, but nobody knows who he's going to play.
Dude, you know why I like William
I'm
Sadler.
still speculating. Well, I like him for multiple reasons, man. I mean, I just said Demon Knight,
Yes,
which we were just
absolutely.
talking about.
Yeah.
He's been on some Great Tales from the Crypt episodes.
Now that the smoke's gone and the air is all like, I cannot disassociate that song from William Sadler from that movie because I love that fucking song so much.
So this is one that I'm hoping
That's Hey
is
Man,
cool,
Nice
man.
Shot, in case you guys didn't know what I was singing.
exactly. Which is the brother of the T-1000. So
It's the
there you go.
opening song of Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, I still think is one of the best demonic movies of all time. One of the best Billy Zane performances of all time.
Oh yeah, and you know what's so
Pull
funny?
down, goddamn cowboy motherfuckers!
I just revisited Zoolander the other day for
Oh, yeah?
its 20th anniversary, and I forgot that there's this scene where Billy Zane is trying to like coax down fucking Ben Stiller from doing the dance off with Hansel.
remember. I've
I
only
said
seen it
Satchel. Dude,
Satchel.
dude, Hansel's so hot right now. Yeah, and they have this dance off, and it's so fucking funny.
We
And
got someone in the
Billy
chat
Zane
called
is-
Nosferatu.
Oh.
Let's be careful about what we say about this person. We don't
So,
want,
yeah,
we don't want
they
to rile
are-
up Charlie Manx.
They're adding cast members, and September 9th, just to double down, is when we're going to see this new version of Salem's Lot, presumably R-rated.
Cinema Mike agrees. William Sadler would make a great Father Callahan.
Yeah, that's kind of
Father Callahan, is that not the person that you dressed as in one of your
One of my
Stephen King
cosplays.
tier list things?
Yep. Because he gets the cross burned into his head, and also, I really wish I had, but I can punch it up right now. The person who is playing our iconic Barlow is actually somebody who was
Is
on
Barlow
Game.
meant to be a direct throwback to Nosferatu, or am I wrong?
Well, the
Because
way
he
they
looks exactly like
the
Nosferatu.
way they designed him in this Toby Hooper original representation.
Barlow, by the way, is in
Yeah.
our thumbnail. Did you see the thumbnail?
Oh yes, you showed it to me. Barlow Salem's Lot.
Guys, that thumbnail was
They
dope,
changed
right?
it significantly
I'm
for the
enjoying our
TNT
thumbnails.
version, which had Rob Lowe and Rutger Hauer.
Rutger Hauer, yeah.
Rutger Hauer was the one who played him. And you know what's so funny is that he was only on set for one day, and the only lines that he ever had, compared to the Toby Hooper, where you saw him a lot,
Uh-huh.
he didn't learn any of them. And so he
Really?
was ad-libbing them, and they
Oh,
were just like,
Christ.
no, this is not going to work. And so they ended up, because of the way they shot it with him in the coffin, like, close up, and they were holding the lines for him to read because he didn't even bother to fucking learn it.
That's fucking... Dude, that's old Hollywood, bro.
Very, very funny. They're like, yo, I'm of esteem, so I'm just going to do it my way. And they're just, no, that's not.
Guys,
not
I'm
the way
sorry.
this
I'm
is
tooting
gonna
my
work.
own horn for this thumbnail. This is a good-ass thumbnail.
No,
I'm
it's a
going to
good
pull it
thumbnail.
up for you guys. I'm going to pull it up and show it off because I like the thumbnail.
Pull it out? Pull it up? I guess it's kind of the same thing.
How dare you accuse me of pulling something out like this?
Present them.
Present them.
Yeah. So the new Barlow casting, and I know this is like, I'm still remembering Josh when I was working for Heavy Metal Television, and he was just like, losing ratings. Don't lose your train of thought. Come on, man. It was when I was first starting to work in front of a camera, and okay, 20. I guess
So that's
it
the
is
thumbnail.
2022.
I like to have fun, guys. These are all stories. Ooh, bleh. These are all stories that we're going to be covering throughout the night. I'm really excited about obviously Twisted Metal, but Barlow. Here we are talking about Barlow at the very beginning. Krampus is a story later on. Obviously, Ryuk from Death Note is a story, and then
Which there's little
story
to
number
report
13.
about.
By the
Right.
way, how appropriate and how smart am I by making story number 13 rather?
Yeah, you're
Never Hike Alone.
You're self-smarted, sir. You are self-smarted.
Yes, I am self-smarted.
Okay, so he is, according to the IMDb, not playing Father Callahan. That is being played by an actor by the name of John Benjamin Hickey.
So who is he playing?
It is unlisted, so it is maybe a new character. It could potentially be.
So what does that say to you if it's not Father Callahan? Is that disappointing?
I think he could be. Man, it's been a minute since I've wed. Since
You've wed Salem's Lot?
It's been a minute since I've read Salem's Lot, and
We've gathered here to join Fuego and Salem's Lot and Holy.
Maybe his. Okay, I like the Mackenzie Lee for Susan Norton. That's good stuff. Okay, so Ralphie Glick. Yep, they're going with a really young kid for this. Holy goodness. They totally and yeah, Mark Petrie. They are.
Could he be playing Straker? Someone asked.
No. Straker has already been announced.
Straker's
Straker
been
is
announced
going
as
to
well.
be a.
William Sadler is
actor by
playing
the
the
name-
bum on the corner. That's who William Sadler is playing.
Actually, he may be. He may be. Check it out. Anybody who remembers Salem's Lot, he may be the dude who works at the junkyard.
Okay,
That's
that's very a William Sadler role.
One of the first to be turned.
That is a William Sadler
It's
role.
a less prominent sort of role. I could definitely see that. But they announced who was playing Straker, and it's a guy who was on. Oh man, he was on Game of Thrones. I think he was also on Vikings as well.
Who is it?
That's who I'm trying to.
I've watched both shows, although I
this.
still have a few seasons of Vikings to finish. I've watched the first 3 seasons of that show
Casting.
with Donna.
Yeah. Oh, well, Catherine loves it too. She is all about it, but we are veering off course,
Alright.
unfortunately.
Wow. We haven't had someone like this before.
As far as
Look at this.
I read Salem's Lot when I was.
That's a troll.
Oh, I was about to say the last couple times that I've done my Hail Lives,
You had one?
We've had yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Good
and,
for you,
and-
reaching CP levels.
Well, no. CP suspected that it was somebody who
Migrated
had
over?
migrated over to talk shit, and so.
Oh, yeah. When did you get that opinion? Last time you talked to CP like a month and a half ago?
Well, the fact that it was a couple months ago, but yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Anyway, let's cheers you, son.
John Hickey? Is this the guy that I'm thinking of?
He also
Okay,
might be
I guess
Mike
we're-
Ryerson, if that has not been cast. A little old for that part, maybe. I don't know who Mike Ryerson would be.
Yeah, and
Cheers!
That's the thing. Some of the minor.
This is water that we're drinking, guys.
Yeah, totally. Some of the minor characters are the ones that because this was King's first time, because there was Carrie, and then with Salem's Lot was where he kind of nailed down his template of having like a large, small town of characters. And there were majors and there were minors, and they were developed in varying capacities. But
Nosferatu actually pointed out a news story that we did not add to our list that we should have. The Friday the 13th lawsuit. There was an update.
If it happened today, I didn't get it.
No, it was a few days ago.
With
So okay, yes. Let's talk about it real quick. Marcia, shut up. Wow. Hi, Marcia. Good to hear you.
We can maybe address that at the end.
Yes, we'll touch on that when we touch on Never Hike Alone 2.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to story number 2, Fuego. Yes?
Yes, let's do it. Okay, Straker is going to be...
Back to Salem's Lot.
Okay, no, we don't need to continue with Salem's Lot. It's fine.
All right, so we're moving on to the next story, which is there is supposedly a Twisted Metal video game revival in production in order to coincide with the Anthony Mackie TV series that was announced. So, it was announced also this past month that Anthony Mackie is going to be starring in a Twisted Metal live-action TV series for what network?
That is
Fuego's going to find that out right now. In the
I don't
meantime,
know if it was announced for like particular.
It may not have been a particular network, but Anthony Mackie
is supposed to coincide with the video game's release. So
well, but there's no official word that an official video game is coming. Is the thing.
And that's the other thing.
So the video game is supposedly in the works to coincide with the TV show's release.
Okay, so
the TV show is the more concrete thing.
Yeah.
The video game is just rumored right now. We don't know for sure. It would obviously make sense. Twisted Metal has been dormant for way too long. Twisted Metal Black is, I think, when I thought about the 9 grid we were talking about, the 3x3, I think Twisted Metal Black would make it into my 9 favorite video games of all time. I love Twisted Metal. I cosplay as Sweet Tooth. If you guys didn't know, I have cosplays on the channel where I cosplay as this guy, the fat version, not the buff version of later games.
No shush kebab.
But I have this mask and I have a flame head and I love Twisted Metal. I love Sweet Tooth, and the TV series that says that Anthony Mackie is going to play a character. We don't know what character he's going to play, but that he's going to run afoul of the crazy clown called Sweet Tooth. They don't mention the tournament. They don't mention Calypso. We don't know what that is. And then there's been other news stories that say there is a game in development that would reboot the series to coincide with the TV series. All of this makes sense. It makes tons of financial sense. It makes tons of video game lover sense. Like, we've all been waiting for a Twisted Metal game for a long time at this point. They did Twisted Metal Black and then they rebooted it again in 2013, I think, with Twisted Metal, and it wasn't as good as Twisted Metal Black, the horror approach. So we don't
Black
know.
Black was the sole horror approach. Despite
Black was the really dark horror approach. Yes, where every person had a story where they were all in this insane asylum and they got broken out for different reasons to try and win their one wish from Calypso. And every single person that got their one wish, it was twisted by Calypso like the monkey's paw, where they all got fucked over. Like, it was such an amazing game story-wise, and it was just a car combat game. That's why Twisted Metal Black is the shit.
And just that whole series, and the fact that even initially when they first came out on the original PlayStation, it was their response from what I remember. Or maybe it even preceded Mario Kart. You know? Well, no, I guess because Mario Kart was on the SNES, and so as far as a kart...
But Twisted Metal was on PlayStation.
Well, SNES, though. As far as a kart...
SNES and PlayStation were rivals.
No, 64 and PlayStation.
Oh, SNES and Genesis were the rivals, weren't they?
No, Saturn. Because...
a little of both.
No, well, I mean, Genesis was 16-bit, SNES was 16-bit.
SNES was 24-bit.
Was it technically a 24-bit?
Or 32-bit, rather.
It wasn't third generation, though. Third generation was
No, 64 was 64-bit, but SNES was higher than Genesis.
It touted itself as being higher than the 16. But the point that I was trying to make is that, like, the first time I ever played a car combat game was the very vanilla Super Mario Brothers on the Super Nintendo, and then when
Twisted Metal Black is the shit for real. 100% Nosferatu.
Friggin' Twisted Metal, it was very much going for just like everything that Sony was trying to be.
That was
Sony
original PlayStation, dude.
Sony and Sega were both trying to be the edgier alternatives to Nintendo at the time.
SNES was 16-bit, he says. Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I was under the impression that it was. But, it was Genesis that upgraded to a 24. Remember, and a 32 with.
I
remember
literally-
when they had the 32X. And
David
when they had
Gomez,
the,
I
when they
have
had the
Silent-
Sega CD, which was 24.
You're still talking about that. David Gomez
FMV.
says you guys should cosplay Jay and Silent Bob. I have a Silent Bob cosplay.
We've done it.
I have the
before.
hat. I have the jacket. I can do that. Fuego doesn't have all the J gear yet. He doesn't have the hoodie or the
Well,
beanie.
there's
He
so
doesn't
many
have the
different-
jacket.
No, I've got a beanie. There's so many alternative.
We need to get you the
versions
yellow
of it.
jacket and the beanie that goes
But that's
with
a
it.
specific iteration. It's not the
Yeah.
Mallrats iteration.
It's the Jay and Silent
it's the
Bob
Jay and
Strike
Silent
Back, yeah.
Bob iteration. Yeah.
Well, but what's the Mallrats iteration? Just the
Mallrats
sweater
iteration,
around
yeah,
the
yeah,
on
he's
around
just
the.
got like the fucking.
It's
black
it's
hoodie.
around his waist, right? Jay has the sweater around his waist.
He has a different look in every movie, though. It's slightly
I think,
differentiated.
guys, if you were gonna want us to cosplay Jay and Silent Bob, which Jay would you want him to be? The yellow jacket
Jay!
Jay from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, or would you want him to be the Chasing Amy Jay or the Mallrats Jay? Which would you want him to be? I have my Silent Bob cosplay. I have my Moobies hat. I have the officially licensed Silent Bob coat. I have jean shorts. And what I wear is a Kevin Smith shirt. So
Whereas I just bought dumb random.
I have a
shit and tried
Moobies.
to make it
I have a
look like
Moobies
it.
shirt that I wear underneath the jacket. So I can do, and in fact I have a Kevin Smith wig even to do. So I'm good. I have my Silent Bob stuff. We just need Fuego to get his J stuff and we can fucking do it.
This is
Yeah, I'm
legitimately
not so Silent Bob. Thank you, Ben. I love you, Ben. I love you and hate you at the same time.
I still think the best Silent Bob moment.
Yeah, Jay
is,
with the yellow rain jacket. That's what I think too.
Okay, that's not. Oh,
Clerks.
but Clerks.
You want us to
doesn't-
be? You want us to be black and white, Marcia?
I don't even think he was wearing a beanie in Clerks. I think he was
No.
wearing the backwards hat.
And I think that's when he
Actually,
had the
no,
sweater
no,
around
He
his.
was wearing a hat. It was like, well, it was like
Sometimes,
front side.
yeah.
Yeah, and he had that hilarious shirt where it was like the banana-looking thing, and yeah, it was a very grunge sort of approach to it.
If you, David Gomez, if you go check out our Moobies vlog on the channel, you'll see us dressed up as close as we could get, because we did dress up, and I put on all of my Silent Bob gear for the movies vlog. So if you look up the horror show Moobies MOOBYS vlog, you'll see us as those costumes. All right, so let's
I give up.
let's move on to the next
Totally
story.
read about it. And I'm very
Story number 3. Netflix. Oh, this is also probably more me than
This
you.
is another one that you can give some insight to.
So Netflix's The Witcher universe expands with both a 3rd season and a new spin-off series, or new spin-off shows. So The Witcher, the first season was, while all over the place timeline-wise, it was so well received that they not only greenlit season 2, but they greenlit an animated feature as well.
Yeah.
We reviewed the animated feature in our last trailer, or in our last review roundup, Curse of the Wolf, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. And now, ahead of the release of the 2nd season of The Witcher, they have already announced they are renewing it for a 3rd season, and they are doing new spin-off shows. Now, how many spin-off shows were there, Fuego? I didn't actually take a look at the story.
Well,
so.
let's take a double little check, man, because
Fuego's going to double check.
No, I am most definitely going to, because of the fact that I've been very intrigued about this series. I have still never even watched Game of Thrones, and yet everybody tells me that this is...
You can skip the last
like,
season of that
It's
shit.
like filling...
Tusk is awesome. Yes, Jake Slider.
It is filling
Love
the
Tusk.
void that Game of Thrones left and pissed so many people off with, and so that's... it's very obviously a thing.
McAdoo asks, who would you rather be chased by in real life while you're looking this up? Chucky or the Leprechaun? I would say Chucky, because Chucky doesn't have magical powers like the Leprechaun does. So the Leprechaun can just magic himself in front of me and fuck me up. Chucky has to actually fight. Like, Chucky has a butcher knife, but he's a doll. Like, I can fight that motherfucker. The Leprechaun, like, I could fight him. Like, I could throw the Leprechaun with a butcher knife across the room, and he would teleport himself inside my big body and slice his way out, and that would be the end of me.
If they
Chucky can't do that.
Yeah, Chucky has never been to space either, by the way. So the Leprechaun would follow you to space.
Yet.
To be fair about it. So just to...
Cosplay as Cecil, Mario, and Fuegigi. I love Fueguigi so much.
Yeah, I had so when I was
It's
still
me, Cecil.
when I was still playing music
Woo!
with my buddy Matt Lacey, man. He had a whole troop of friends at Comic-Con. They did Waluigi. They did they did the whole like spectrum. It was so awesome and so funny. And those are my friends. Who
Getting
are in
ready to
Arizona
board the
Avengers
plane.
now.
See you over the rainbow. Marcia Parker,
Yes, we love you, Marcia Parker.
love you. Take super, super care. I hope you have
Yeah.
a fantastic trip. And be super, super safe.
And drink lots of
God's
apple
gonna watch
cider.
over you. You belong to the horror show, so you're gonna be safe.
Oh, and also Marcia Parker. Midnight Mass. The end of Midnight Mass messed me up.
I have one episode left, and I can see how. Like
Mess
this is a lot of
me
things
up.
about Fuego that would fuck a person up.
I cried at the end of that show.
I cried in 4. I don't know if I'm gonna cry in 7. I didn't cry in 6, but I definitely cried in 4. I cried big tears.
I
in
don't
4.
know why.
I cried big
I
tears
don't
in
know why
4.
with my religious upbringing, those old hymns make me cry, but
Do they?
always make
Where
me
the whole crew,
They always
when they
make me
so
cry,
was
dude.
that scene when they all were
Mirror
walking on
my
the
God
street
to
and
me.
gathering together
Mirror-
as they were walking to the church? Did that get
Yes,
to you?
yes.
Really did it? Because that was such a powerful scene. I love that. I love that.
And I know so many of those hymns.
And it
whether
just
they're
got
hymns or
louder and
songs.
louder with
Yeah.
everyone that joined, but they were all so misguided. Ugh.
Oh,
I haven't watched the final episode yet, but
so that's why I'm trying to veer around.
Marcia says so good.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
I'm glad it affected you. That I'm tempted.
Cry
Do we need to do a
hardcore.
separate Midnight Mass review?
I would like to.
Honestly, I feel like it's worth it. I feel like it is worth it. Marcia, let us know in the comments before you hop on your plane. Do you feel like Midnight Mass deserves its own separate review?
It's the clout and the esteem of Mike Flanagan. You know, I mean, Blythe Manor, not so
The
much.
lead was
but
from Friday Night Lights. I didn't realize that. Wait, the dude?
who at the very beginning is like,
Look, the lead ain't always the lead.
Tell me she's not. Tell me she's not. And then what that guy says
so
to him at the
sad.
beginning, he's like, "Oh, and tell me why you just have a scratch and fucking the kids always die." And you're like,
I'm telling you, the scene where he
man.
is talking to the girl who lost.
now, so did you like the rotary, the like twist, where he's like lying in the cell, and even when he got back to the parents' home, is that the proper terminology where they just kept doing the rotation?
Yeah,
the
sure.
camera rotation sort of thing.
I would need to rewatch.
I wasn't so into it, honestly, because I kept like turning my head to look at who he kept seeing.
Oh, that.
So I could see her a little bit better. I
thought
don't
that
know
was
if
effective. I do
Did
think
you?
that was
Did you?
effective.
I
Yes,
wasn't so sure
because
how
you
much
know
I
what
liked it.
You know what it did. Every time you had to turn your head, you had to put yourself in his vision.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
So
point.
every time you had to turn your head, this is what he was seeing.
And yet I did like.
And it's
how,
like you had to literally put your head like this, which is super uncomfortable for us. But imagine his discomfort having to deal with this every time he
single night.
goes to sleep.
Yeah. So it was that, and then
Fucking
him
good.
sitting-
Yeah,
sitting
you
on
know
the
what?
boat,
We'll do a
sitting
separate
on the
review
boat.
of Midnight
Yeah,
Mass.
that show
Guys,
was-
we'll do a separate
was
Midnight
really
Mass
good,
review
man.
from the review roundup. I feel like it is absolutely worth a separate review.
Well, there is this essay, everybody. If you guys have-
Galford's Dog, if you stick with it, it is 100% horror, but it is
It's slow
slow
burn.
burn
Slow burn
horror.
like a motherfucker.
Slow burn
Big
horror,
time,
but
big
it is
time.
the best kind of slow burn horror.
You know what? Catherine hated the performance from the Reverend guy, from the father.
Oh, I thought he was great.
She did not like him at all. She felt
I
like
thought he was so
delivering
good.
his lines in a very. There was a specific way he was being directed that she didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Are you kidding me? How much time did you spend in the church, Catherine?" She didn't really spend much time at all in the
Yeah.
church. And I was like, "I spent so much, not Catholic specific, but." In enough Reformed Baptist sort of sectors where I
Dude,
was
the scene. So episode 4 has a scene where there's 2 people that have
well, yeah, that's
given
aside
up,
from who we were
that have
talking
given
about.
up a lot of stuff throughout their lives
Or
and
lost things.
and lost things. They're both talking about how they envision after death, and it is literally 2 sides of the idea of what happens when you die. They both end up being kind of super beautiful, and one in particular resonated with me because it resonated with something that my lady and I have gone through, and it was so heavy and so hard to watch. I was sitting here doing editing while I was watching it, and this scene played out. I stopped editing, focused on my phone. Yes, I was watching it on my phone, but that's how good it was. The scene played out from both perspectives, and I was Niagara Falls, Frankie.
Yeah.
I really was. So much so that I went in and I had to go and kiss my lady and my son while they were sleeping, because I was so grateful that they were around and in my life after watching
is so important
Midnight
when you
Mass.
think about
Like,
just...
that's how effective that show is, because I literally had to go in and kiss my family to make myself feel better from what I was watching.
There was something so amazing about the way that Mike Flanagan handles those sort of tender emotional experiences that also are really just kind of tough to deal with. And he very much is a guy who has done psychedelic drugs to purport some of the perspectives that he did, especially of the despondent nature between these two characters. And it was so fascinating. And as somebody who's done mushrooms and has done salvia and acid and stuff like that, and some of the positivity, because like Ryle, that was his name, right? Ryle. It doesn't matter. Our guy who was in the accident at the very beginning of the film, and we'll talk about this more extensively. And then Aaron Green, kind of the love of his life, essentially, who is Mike Flanagan's wife as well. They both have very different perspectives about what they think the end will encompass, and I've had thoughts of it being a combination of both.
Riley.
Riley. And boy, did it hit me in the feels, and it
hits both sides, dude.
As far as divergent
ripped me
perspectives.
up.
You know, her idea of what she thought heaven would be, especially
from the perspective of what she was talking about.
Yeah.
From the perspective where she said she was sleeping, and then she got to wake up, and she was surrounded by people. She
never got to wake up.
No.
So she was always in a dream.
No, but when she got there, she finally woke up, and she was surrounded by people that loved her,
and she would be
family that she never knew, and the perfect version of her. I went in and I kissed them, and I told my lady, I was like, she's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I just watched something that really touched me and affected me, because it talked about something that she and I had gone through, and so I played it for her." Like, she was like, "Well, play it for me." And she was, our son was asleep, and she was laying down, and we both were laying there, and I tried to rewatch it with her.
Hold up,
dude, when I tried to rewatch it with her, I was like, I had to calm myself down, because I was so affected that I was like going to be too vocal to let her enjoy it. I was like, I had to rein that in, because it's so heavy. It's one of the players has lost a baby in a
you are spoiling that.
A little bit. I'm not saying who or how or whatever, but someone has gone through something that a lot of women go through, and it's so affecting. Anyway, no, you're right. I should move on here. God, this is so far from The Witcher.
Jake Steiner says, "I've done my fair share of shrooms as well." No, but that's
don't do
the
drugs,
thing.
kids.
Yeah, don't do drugs. Well, anything grown in the ground, I don't personally consider a drug. It's
anyway.
The pharmaceutical epidemic is.
The second season of The Witcher is coming. The animated movie was amazing.
Wow, we
I know they approved the third season of The Witcher, and
which seems to be the new kind of precedent for a lot of these streaming shows. They
did spin-off shows. Did they say how many spin-off shows they approved? Yes.
It's going to be a massive hit.
You're selling me on Midnight Mass. Definitely watch Midnight Mass. It's a 7-episode commitment.
Yeah.
It's not much. It's super easy.
But that's the thing, though. We're not talking about like a 30 to 40
Galford's
minute...
dog, your brother knows the pain.
Yeah.
It that fucking sucks. And they address that. They address that in one scene that is so fucking heavy.
Well, the thing about this one, though, just to keep in mind, is that it's not like a 30 to 40 minute. So, like, each episode is over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's seven.
But how awesome is that they indulge you? They give Mike Flanagan that much time to build the series. I love that.
If not for The Haunting of Hill House being so successful,
God, it was so good.
would not have been able to make this,
because this was his from start to finish, right?
Yes.
This was not based on any previous property.
And dude, I read his editorial. He had a special editorial on Bloody Disgusting where he talked about this project and how he has been trying to get it made for over a decade. This could be very inspiring for you, dude.
Oh, dude,
because
you have no idea.
He said that he started writing it as a novel in 2012, and then he started trying to shop it as a movie script in 2014, and that was about the time he was trying to make Oculus, and he quit his reality editing show job. Like, he got so personal. You should really read this article. It is dope, and
Sounds
just
like
awesome to hear about the fact that he grew up. He was one of those altar boys. He did grow up on that area of the country.
Dude, I wasn't an altar boy, but I grew up. Look, I went to an Episcopalian school that was K through 8, where we had to go to mass twice a week.
I was a Reformed Baptist, so
then I went to a Jesuit high school where we went to mass regularly as well. Like, I get from religion and stuff like that. Like, that's why this stuff can really strike home for me. Yes, this is Mike Flanagan. So anyway, let's move on to
I know.
The new news story. We barely touched on that.
So yes, there is a third season of The Witcher, and there are no details about the additional spin-offs, but yet that they have
oh
been
my
ordered,
god, Cinema Mike! If you have a Catholic upbringing, if you have a Catholic upbringing and you like horror, absolutely give it a try. Absolutely, it's a slow burn. Again, give it 3 episodes.
If you're not into that sort of
3 episodes is where you'll. At the end of the 3rd episode, you're like, wait, what? What's going? What? This isn't the show I've been watching.
The cave.
Well, the turn.
Well,
the angel.
Yeah,
cave. Right.
Well, the discovery in the cave.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So, all right. Before David Gordon Green, Mike Flanagan was my choice for a Halloween movie. Mike Flanagan's too cerebral for Halloween. I don't think Mike Flanagan would be a good fit for a Halloween movie.
I don't think he's vicious enough. I think he's too compassionate and caring of a writer.
It's not. That's not what Michael Myers is for.
Well, he has this deep personal conviction. Like, even look at what he did with Dr. Sleep. You know, look at what most of his projects, and obviously, Haunting of Hill House, he only did the 1 episode of Bly Manor. So I feel like since he was managing a writer's room, that was less him. But he has like a deep care and conviction within him that I don't think he would really be suited for a hardcore slasher that was unflinching and uncaring. That's not the kind of shit that he makes, man. Like, he doesn't do that sort of thing. So
this news story is the fact that we are getting a sequel for No One Sleeps in the Woods Tonight. That's what came out last year, and now No One Sleeps in the Woods Tonight Part 2 is coming to Netflix this October.
Indeed.
I didn't get to watch the first one, but I heard it was great. It was one that was in my queue that I just never got around to.
I was right there with you, unfortunately.
Knowing that it's a annual sequelization sort of thing, it's obviously got to be quality, so I will absolutely go back and watch the first one ahead of the release of the second one here this month.
Yeah, same with you, man. I did not get around to it. It was one of there was such an onslaught of horror releases last year, and I feel like it's even more so this year because of the fact that so much is being retrofitted for streaming now and for television as opposed to going into theaters, because there's still so many so many studios are so suspect about the viability of all of the marketing to put something into theaters, and they're like, let's sell it to Netflix, let's whatever. So I did get some clarification, though. It is actually a Polish slasher, and it was well celebrated in the home country and of course most of North America, various other places, and since I haven't seen the first film, I can't say where the sequel could go. If it's going to be like a Wolf Creek sort of situation, where there's a whole new whole new group of peeps that get killed, because doesn't he kind of like lay them all out, so to speak, in the Wolf Creek movies, more or less? Pretty
much, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yes, upcoming sequel, continuation of the first Polish slasher, based on a screenplay by Mirela Zarda Kiawicz and Bartosz Kowalski, who also was the one who directed the movie, was Bartosz. But if we just want to hear a brief little synopsis, Adas is a young, lonely, unhappy policeman from a small village in Podlasie, ignored by his colleagues and beautiful and extremely confident Vanessa. Been there, done that. High school is fun. The shy boy is looking for his place in the world. The sequel. We will also learn more about the fate of Zosia. Okay, so there are going to be returning characters, presumably, who will show a completely new and surprising face. The film is a pervasive, ironic, grotesque, and bloody story about looking for love. And so I didn't realize that there was that sort of side perspective to this. I thought it was like full-on slasher, but if they do have a romantic subplot, I'm into that.
Jake Slider says, I actually love Nobody Sleeps in the Woods
that was the one thing I was going to say. Did you guys see this?
It got tons of great reviews, which is why it was on my...
Jason Smith was all about it, dude. He was telling me how much we needed to see it. It's a slasher that will turn genres,
Europe is where slashers were
upside
born.
down this time. So, stay tuned. They don't have a specific release date, though. It's just tentatively October 2021. And I know the weirdness about all of this is that depending on the region, certain things are licensed one spot, certain things are others. I see, like, Mikey Mnemonic, for instance, he's watching something in the UK on Netflix that we don't have access to over here, and so on and so forth. Lots of my
Correction. I do have access to it via my VPN.
Okay.
I do have a VPN, so if you want to watch something from another thing, we can do that.
You can do that. So this is one that I guess we were just curious about and trying to see some of all of your thoughts on Dr. Death. God damn.
Dr. Death is a constant watcher, honestly. And tuned in, boils and ghouls. I have to say, fuck everything else. I'm excited for the return of OG Chucky. We are too, as you can see. If they do it proper. But look, everything that we've been seeing, I'm trying to get on the list for us to be able to watch the Chucky series early. If not, we are going to be... Look, my plan is to do a weekly Chucky TV series review. I will review the episode as it's new every Wednesday. It's going to drop on Tuesday. I'll review it for Wednesday. If Fuego wants to join me, great, but I love Chucky. I have a plan on October 10th, next Sunday, to do a Chucky series anticipation live stream with a special guest. I don't want to announce the special guest until I've locked them down. But I am excited to talk Chucky, so yes. Dr. Death, I'm with you. We are going to be talking Chucky for the next couple of months on this channel. Oh my god. I'm holy crap. Okay.
You were fancy. So this
next
is the
story.
One, this is the one. So Matt Wagner, right?
So let me handle this one too. This is me too.
Guy?
Matt Wagner, yes, has done a number of comics. He did Mage.
I've never read a Grendel comic. I have read some.
So Mage. He did Mage, which is Kevin Smith's favorite comic book.
Didn't they talk about it in Chasing Amy?
Yep. But Grendel is one that I know because the reason I have two covers up here. So this is Grendel, I think Death and Roses is I think what this series was called. And then this was Batman Grendel. Dude, they did Batman Grendel and Grendel Batman, just like they did Batman Spawn and Spawn Batman.
Oh, okay.
It was in that same era. So
right.
They did a Batman Grendel by one creative team and then a Grendel Batman by another creative team.
So if I remember the one that Frank Miller and McFarlane
that
did,
was Batman Spawn, and then there was Spawn Batman by the other creative team.
I didn't like
one was good, one was bad.
As much in that one.
One was good,
like
one was bad.
Well,
and the funny thing about Spawn after that is because at the end of Batman Spawn, he threw a batarang and it sliced Spawn down the face, and Spawn from that point on had to use a shoelace that Cyan gave him to tie his face together from that thing.
But
so whenever you saw Spawn with a shoelace down his
Frank
face,
wrote it though. Excuse me, not Frank. Todd wrote it.
Todd McFarlane wrote it. Yeah, Frank illustrated it. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's awesome stuff. Yeah. But so Grendel did. My first exposure to Grendel was this Batman Grendel, or this was Grendel Batman. I don't know which one it was. This was, I think, Batman Grendel, but it was a 2-issue prestige format series. And so Grendel, this character Hunter Rose, is a very affluent guy. I don't know much about him because I've only read very little stuff, but he is a affluent guy, hence he's drinking the wine, but he has a particular weapon, which I love. Yeah. It's a bow staff with, you can see there's so it's like a spear, except it's not a spear, but at the end, no, it's not curved. It's two blades that are right next to each other that come together down here. So it's like a two-bladed pitchfork. That's essentially what it is. Two blades right next to each other, and that's what he uses. That's the implement you see there. So this is going to be made into a TV series on Netflix, and that, again, having never read the Grendel series, I can see how, based on the Grendel Batman stuff that I have read, how that would work so well, because this is a posh crime fighter that does evil shit as well. So I am all about this idea.
Okay, so he's not like full-on superhero. Is he more like kind of anti-hero?
He's an anti-hero, 100% anti-hero.
Yeah. Yep. I always got that vibe from his look.
He did do Monster Men and the Mad Monk from Batman, Galford's dog, yes.
Yeah.
A halberd, yes. That's the weapon. Thank you. I didn't know what it was called, but yes, a halberd.
I certainly didn't either.
Halberd, yes. Thank you. Galford's dog.
Man, and I could have
golf clap for you.
Okay, so was Grendel released published by Dark Horse? Because I want to say that they did.
Grendel Batman was Dark Horse.
Okay, I want to say they did a crossover at some point with Predator, Aliens. Like, maybe I'm totally wrong.
You might be right.
Or like maybe it was a wishful thinking sort of situation,
you might be
because
right.
I knew so little about the character and I thought he had a dope look, and so for that reason. But
let's see.
Yeah, I've always been very curious to. Okay, maybe I'm just thinking the Batman crossover, which might be.
Well.
No, that's Dead Least of the Species. That's the second ADP crossover. Okay, well, I'm totally wrong, but he did cross over with one of my favorite characters of all time, and so I have that decade over there.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, where you have the mask and just being reminded about the ultra violence of the mask and how differently they did that.
Yeah, see, that's also
Grendel. Yeah, well,
I want to get the Grendel omnibuses, honestly.
Really rad.
The Grendel omnibuses look fucking dope.
Now, so for Mage, like, he almost had, like, a lightsaber from what I remember.
I have the first. I have the first of the 3 volumes.
I never read
Mage.
Any of them. So
I haven't. I read it and I was like, it's not interesting enough for me to continue.
I saw them at
what about Grendel? I heard it
like
stinks. That. Okay, then. Okay.
The
omnibus is $25 on Amazon. I will purchase that shit right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to get
serious?
like fully properly
Grendel
acclimated.
omnibus is only $25.
That's not bad.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking buy that shit right now. All right, so let's move on to the next story, Fuego.
Indeed,
that is
because we have already been going for a little bit longer than we might have expected.
Yeah, well, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, nothing whatsoever.
Death Note. So, did you watch this, or was this just me?
No, I did, and yet this is the thing. I wasn't massively familiarized with the source material. I'd seen
there's a couple of omnibuses.
Okay, Death Note, Death Scroll, DBZ, I guess Bebop and Gungram were like shorter, more not ongoing series, and so they were like specific animes that I went through when I was younger.
There's 2 volumes of the Grendel omnibus, and they're each $25. Apparently.
Yeah, this was not one that I excessively went through, and I know that I didn't think it was that good, and then the hardcore fans of the original show, the manga and the anime and everything, absolutely hated it for the most part. I thought Wingard didn't really direct it that poorly, but
it was just a poor representation of the series.
Yeah. I think the script was one of the biggest problems with this, and yet there was still apparent plans to make another film. It's been gestating since the previous one came out, and they're was it the producer? I should probably look at the proper story as opposed to just going.
What up, old Darth?
That's
your boy, right?
Dude, that's
Lou. Yeah,
that's Lou.
Hey, I remember. Yeah. I remembered. It was Lou. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Vincente Guerrero, would the horror show ever review movies from writer-director Lucifer Valentine, his Vomit Gore series? No, because I saw that Bloodbath and Beyond had done that, and apparently Lucifer Valentine, surprise, has done a bunch of awful shit, so no, we will never touch Lucifer Valentine on the channel.
I've heard of him, but I can't say that I've
Nope,
ever...
not going to do it. But, you know, no hate to anyone that likes it. It's just, nope, that we're not going to do that. All right.
And I still have toughness with some of the obligatory, like, grotesque gore sort of series where...
It sounds like Faces of Death, for like gore for no reason.
Yeah, if it's over the top and there's almost a comedic sort of aspect to it and there's amusing storytelling, I'm all about that. If it's just no story and going completely practical gore for gore's sake, and even more so than anything, I'll watch dudes die all day. I don't give a shit about that, man. But if it's like something which is prominent with horror, which is where I have no interest in seeing women suffer in horror movies.
I don't know, and I don't like watching I Spit on Your Grave.
Dude.
I hate rape scenes. I hate
I'm
overextended
not about
rape
that
scenes.
at all.
Nope.
I love and respect women too much to want to see anything like that. Not to say that that's what Tommy does, because I don't know. But
Sure.
that's what it's about.
Alex Roof says, I like Death Note on Netflix. That's fair. That's fair. I think
subjective,
Willem
dude.
Dafoe
Art's
playing
subjective.
Ryuk is brilliant. It's a stroke
Yeah.
of genius.
And I thought
but it was
Dude Who
not a
Played
good
Light,
presentation.
I thought Dude Who Played Light was
Yeah.
really good as
Light
well.
Yagami was, he
Yes.
was pretty good. I think L, like, there was issues I just had. Like, it could have been great, but it just wasn't, unfortunately. Lou asks, did you guys like Midnight Mass? Lou, rewind just about 10 minutes and you'll hear our discussion about Midnight Mass. We're going to do a whole separate review.
Very brief one.
But but we did just it's just puke shit. Yeah, no, Christopher Muller, no, we have no interest in that. So thank you for clarifying. Jake says Cecil and Fuego, if you've seen it, I don't think he has. Quick thoughts on the new American Horror Story season.
We were supposed to talk about it.
We were
but
supposed
I
to talk
didn't
about
watch
it.
it.
We'll talk about part 1 in the next review roundup, if not part 2 as well, depending on when we actually get to the review roundup. But I watched Red Tide. I watched the entire Red Tide part of American Horror Stories. I liked it.
Honest, man.
I actually liked it. It is a. What I loved about it is it's a vampire tale interwoven with people wanting to be successful writers. And that's me. Like, I would be one of these people that if I went to this place... So here's the thing.
This is where I'm at, like, briefly to ask you. The reappropriation of familiar actors in new roles. Did you like it? Did you? Like
I really liked... So Finn, right? Isn't that his name?
Finn,
the guy,
Finn Wolfrock?
not Finn Wolfhard.
No. Finn, it's like Finn Wolfrock.
Yeah, whatever
like
it is. The guy that played Dandy Mott. He played Dandy Mott
He was the bad guy in the
Freak
Carnival
Show.
season.
Right.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy in Freak Show. He played Dandy Mott.
Windrock,
He plays the main character in this one. I liked him a lot. I liked the season. I liked the story, and it was all about. So here's the thing: if someone offered you a black pill that said, "Hey, if you take this, if you are actually creative enough, it will make you the best version of yourself." Well, you will write.
Energize you.
No, you will write something that Netflix will buy, HBO Max will buy. You will have a career immediately because you've written the best thing that's been seen by Hollywood.
So it's like creative speed, but there's all these monkey's paws.
You have to drink blood from that point on. You become a vampire. Would you do? You have to kill to keep this creativity.
After having just watched,
You can stop. Stop taking the pill at any point, but then you can never create again. Your creativity is dead at that point.
It's an interesting paradigm. Yeah.
But would you take the pill to become the best version of yourself ever for like a couple of years, right? Make your money and then try and live out the rest of it. Like, it's such a... That's what I loved about this season, was the thinking about it. Was like, would you do this? Would you sacrifice your humanity in order to achieve a certain level of commercial success? And what...
There was a part of my
It gets deeper than that. I'm not ruining it, trust me.
There was a part of my conviction that would say no, because
But...
there are so many people who have created the most amazing music on like heroin and all these other horrible fucking augmentary drugs. And
but what if this doesn't kill you? You just have to kill someone else.
ew, that's even worse, dude.
What if it's the dregs of society? What if you go find the bad people?
one of the
Is
biggest,
it that big of a sacrifice?
One of the biggest
you take
things
out a bum that isn't contributing anything to society in order to contribute the next movie, the next Avatar. The next fucking...
Yeah, the next Avatar, as much as I liked Avatar is not like...
I'm just saying that because it's the most successful movie of the last 15 years.
Of all time at this point.
Remember? That's what I'm saying. Like, you kill one person, but you create the next musical masterpiece. Chiron becomes Led Zeppelin, right?
I don't think I could, man. I don't.
That's the... it's such a good question. Yeah. Guys, we should almost have an entirely different series just about this.
And, I mean...
so the idea is, but if you have no talent within you, you become a mindless zombie that just goes to try and eat people.
Well, that's very strange because, I mean...
But if you have some talent, it turns you...
How do they estimate the levels of your talent?
That's the thing. Are you actually talented or are you not? If you're bullshit talented, then you become a fucking mindless vampire zombie wandering the land, just trying to eat people. But if you're talented, you become the best you are at that thing.
One of the best things that I want to mention, though,
it's so interesting. That's why I loved the first half of this season. It's asked more. Sorry, it's asked more than any season of American Horror Story has asked up to this point.
Yeah, well, just to kind of divert topic back to Midnight Mass without spoiling
in a fucking
things,
heartbeat, says Joshua Sarantini.
Yeah. Just to divert back to Midnight Mass and that amazing. Oh, gross! Thank you.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm burping now too. It's terrible. I'm with you. No, but one of the best things.
David Gomez says he'd take the pill. Okay.
Yeah, one of the.
Joshua says I would in a heartbeat. I think I would too.
I don't think I would, dude. Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard, dude. That's the thing.
That augmentary
I can't ruin what happens. You gotta watch it because it gets so much deeper. Because he has a family and he has a daughter that's watching what's happening.
Succeed on my own laurels, my own abilities, as opposed to taking an easy way out, is the way that I would personally.
Is it an easy way out?
Yes, because of the fact that.
But it unlocks your natural potential. So it brings out what's actually there, and you just get it done, and you're like, oh my god, all this was here all along. I just unlocked it. And it became the best thing that any of you have ever watched on Netflix. That's the whole idea.
But it's still
you become immortal in so many different ways. Like, that's what would tempt me. Like, my biggest fear is if someone would come to me and say, hey, Cecil, you can have your life creating anything you want, but you have to forget that you have a son. That is the worst fucking thing I'd ever have to consider, and yet to me, no, it's not a
different
consideration.
From this situation, obviously.
It's not a consideration. I love my son too much. I would never give it up, but I might think about it for just a second. You know what I mean? Just because I'm human. So, this is the only time American Horror Story has ever made me think like this, and I absolutely loved the half of the season as a result of it. I doubt the second half of the season is going to make me, the alien section is going to make me think the way this one did. But anyway.
Well, they're supposed to be intertwined, right?
So, Corey, that's the thing. There's no restriction on who you kill, whose blood you drain. You can kill serial killers, but you have to do the work to figure out who's the serial killer. You have to be the one to actually verify it and make sure that they are. Like, no one's going to do that for you. Like, if someone actually pointed out, hey, that's a serial killer, you can go drain their blood and you're good. Like, yes, great, fine. I'll take out the evil and use their blood to make myself the creative genius I want to be.
Well,
but if you can't determine who that is, do you do that?
Well, I think this is a
it's a genius premise.
I think this is a very...
I agree.
I think this is a very good sort of approach to a Hellvader.
Or a great horror debate.
Yeah,
great horror debate, I think, would be a good argument. Yeah.
I mean, I was just thinking about that amazing editorial that Mike Flanagan did, dude, and you still need to read it because
I will.
Despite talking about the fact that he had all of the Catholic connections, he also was like, dude, I'm 3 years sober because of the fact that I was creating and yet I was making a lot of bad decisions despite some success, and there were... Like, he envisioned the worst possible scenario being if he crashed his car, and he was like, I didn't die but I killed somebody else.
Oh, wow.
And he said that was the most horrible thing, that in the midst of all of his, like, really hardcore alcoholism, that as we're sitting here drinking.
News with booze.
Yeah, exactly. News with booze.
Jesus Christ.
Let's keep up the
Holy
positivity.
shit, Fuego.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing it all down.
No, but it was just interesting to hear him talk about that. That was what he always, like, just looked upon as being the worst possible thing, and how he knew that he had issues, and he was trying to, come to terms with them and everything else, and so, yeah.
I love everyone's interacting
I love
on
Flanagan,
this.
man. I love Mike Flanagan.
The fact that he's making such a
directors.
provocative series.
Yeah. And the
7 episodes and just like stuff that we've never... It's stuff that we have seen, but not in a form in which we've seen it before. I love it.
Well, and it just bums me so much because I did, and I'm sure Lou can even comment to this a little bit, in the fact that this was a small, isolated town on an island. They built that whole town because they couldn't find the right place, and so they found this spot right off of Virginia.
This got too deep.
Yeah.
This got too deep!
Sorry, I'm not
Sorry,
trying
David.
to be... I'm not trying to be that,
No, I love it. I love it.
Man.
It's great.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Death says, I've not been watching American Horror Story, but I did watch the Danny Trejo Killer Santa episode of American Horror Stories, and I will be rewatching that at Christmas time. I agree. That's a good one to watch. But honestly, American Horror Stories, or the double feature rather, the first, that was the most solid American Horror Story in a long time. Everyone had a purpose. There was no dangling threads. It was entertaining from beginning to end. I have not watched the first episode of the Alien section of the season so far, but Red Tide was honestly one of the strongest American Horror Stories that I've seen yet. Stronger than anything in American Horror Stories, which had 7 episodes, 3 of which were wrapping up the murder house story, and then there were 4 separate stories. But this, I'm a big fan of the double feature format. A 6-episode in and out story. Give me 2 of those every season, and boom, I'm happy with American Horror Story. Don't make me commit to 12 episodes of a story I don't give a shit about. If I don't care about Red Tide, let me abandon it 2 episodes in and come back a month later and watch the first part of the new story. I think it's actually pretty brilliant. So I don't know. And why am I talking about this and not the Death Note story?
No. We touched on Death Note and the fact that I wasn't the biggest fan of it, and then in turn you were a little more forgiving of it, and they didn't even get. This is where it was such a vague, little bit of a news blurb, because they didn't give any specifications about how they were going to address the fans' resentments about this and how it actually all went down. It's obviously the hardcore anime and manga fans, but then again,
I can understand their disappointment though. It was pretty annoying.
It was not that good, man.
No,
it was not.
It was pretty annoying what they did.
So.
All right, well, let's move on to the next one.
It's another that's going to be a little bit briefer. But if you guys haven't seen 30 Coins...
Yes. So we covered 30 Coins. I think we might have covered it in a review roundup, or maybe we did do a separate review of it.
I think we did a full season review.
It might have been before we did review roundups.
Marcia. I think maybe
No, I did it too.
Oh, no, you were there too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I mean, we do so many reviews, guys, as Lou was joking with me about.
So this originated on HBO Spain. Because the filmmaker is Spanish, and he's from España. And so they originated the series there. It ported over to the US, and it was a really good horror series. They positioned it as being a creature series. There were only creatures in 2 of the 8 episodes, but it was still good. And now apparently the director has teased the fact that there's going to be a season 2. He teased the fact that he's back on location.
Well, they did.
Going to be filming it.
Yeah, they did leave it pretty open with that drive away at the end without spoiling, who was involved and.
But he's actually involved in another thing that we just did a trailer reaction for, which you guys will see the title of it. I'll bring it up right now. But
it
guys,
looks really cool.
We did a trailer reaction to the guy behind 30 Coins' new property. We literally just did it. The trailer reaction roundup will go up tomorrow. But let me pull this up so I can tell you what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
did you delete them already?
Nope.
Something with a T. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But it's a project that is not going to be debuting in North America until probably early 2022.
It's Venezia Frenia. Venezia Frenia.
Venezia.
So that's what it's called, and yes, the trailer reaction. If you guys want to know what that's all about, we reacted to the trailer for it. That reaction is going to go up tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We actually react to the brand new trailer for the Chucky series, so there's lots of cool stuff we look at.
And
so
all
check
the
that out tomorrow.
Blumhouse, all the new Blumhouse stuff, because Blumhouse is like, and they're just spooging right now in everything that they are putting out.
Old Darth, check out 30 Coins. If you like the first episode, you'll enjoy the rest of the series. It gets heavy.
Yeah,
it
Lou,
gets
it's
crazy.
very good, and
but the last episode pays off the series in a big bad fucking way.
Well, it also does delve into a little like telenovela kind of like
yes,
there is
but dude,
there's a major romantic subplot, but there's a lot of religious intrigue, which was one of my favorite
production
aspects
design of
about
that
it.
last episode where it's all the upside down crosses and everything that's been fucked up.
So I think we can at least specify for everybody who has HBO Max or has access to
LA Lakers, thank you. Appreciate that. Great content as always.
Ew.
How dare you say
LA
ew.
Lakers? Phoenix Suns.
Let them love it. Let them look. If we have Lakers fans.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Twat.
No, but
Irish Runner, what's up?
Yeah, but Lou, 30 coins, 30 pieces of silver, Judas and the Plan, which is something they also explore in Midnight Mass.
True.
A little bit about how the fact that Judas was part of the plan, man. Part of God's plan. It's really interesting because
God's plan.
God's
plan.
Yeah, when I was a kid, that was most definitely not something that was ever touched upon with any religious leaders, my parents, or various other authority figures. So yeah.
All right, so let's see here. 30 Coins, just checked out the trailer, added to my watch list. Netflix is crazy with horror movies this month. Absolutely.
Netflix, Shudder, Hulu,
dude, I love
Prime,
October.
Everybody, man. Shocktober, as some call it.
So here's a story
Chill.
that we actually missed in our last trailer reaction. They announced that they are going to be reviving
this is all you.
the MTV Teen Wolf series in a 2022 movie, bringing them back, leading into a new series spin-off called Wolfpack, apparently. So Teen Wolf, if you didn't know, was an MTV series that starred a bunch of different people that have gone on to do big things. Tyler Hoechlin has gone on to become Superman in the Superman and Lois show on CW.
Everybody wants
Tyler Posey
awesome
went on to do a number of different movies that didn't take off, so he's coming back. Dylan O'Brien went on. He played Styles, and now he's gone on to do all of the Maze Runner movies as well as Love and Monsters.
He's probably the most prominent at this point
is,
that I would say.
And
as
he's
far as,
well
features,
deserved.
As
yes.
far as features go.
And then the two main lead ladies have gone on to do. One of the main lead ladies who played the lead's love interest. She was in Incident in a Ghostland. And then the other lady, she has been in a number of horror movies as well. So this whole cast has gone on to do good things, and the fact that they're wrangling at least some of them back in to tell a new story within this universe to maybe kick off a new spin-off series, which is fine, but it's done by the original show creator, so I'm really excited about this. You didn't watch this show.
I've never watched it,
but I'm telling you, it is worthwhile for horror lovers. Yeah. It is a teeny bopper show, but it is a good creature show. Like, there are werewolves, there are scary moments. It is like 3 or 4 or 5 seasons, and it is worth your time as a horror fan.
Yeah, so
I dig the hell out of this, and I was super excited to learn about this. To me, this is like the Dexter revival for me. I loved Teen Wolf as a creature fan. You're a creature fan. I know you love creatures as much as me. Teen Wolf did werewolves really, really well. Mm-hmm. So I am excited about this. I don't care. I'll wear it on my sleeve.
No, I think the biggest thing was that this was at the same time where we also had like the Scream revival and a few others of those, right? Where it was trying to reappropriate. I mean, Teen Wolf for me, I love the Jason Bateman and Michael J. Fox films. They're both so fun and being their different sports sort of approaches and stuff like that. So big fan of each of those. And yeah, you can reappropriate and it can still be amusing and entertaining and so on. But
we got Vicente Guerrero, LOL, at the Teen Wolf being brought back as a movie. Nice that there will be a spin-off show. Cool. So right on. Someone likes it.
And Lou also mentions
Teen Wolf was Michael J. Fox, but yes, they did an MTV version of Teen Wolf in like 2016.
That was more serious.
That was a serious horror take on the Teen Wolf series, where at the very first, the pilot episode, your main guy who's a lacrosse player gets scratched by a werewolf and becomes a werewolf, and it fucks up his whole life. But there's evil werewolves, there's good werewolves, there's pack leaders. It is fucking great. There's hunters.
Sounds very Twilight.
This main guy's girlfriend's dad is like a werewolf hunter, so it's fucking great. It's so entertaining. It is so Buffy, but it is so entertaining, dude. Like Teen Wolf,
a huge fan
Angel,
of Buffy
and Buffy,
Supernatural,
and like Supernatural and Teen Wolf. They're up there, dude. I'm telling you, you would enjoy it. It is
to give it a
fun
chance,
show.
Even if I only watch a couple episodes.
All right. So, question: have you guys watched Jupiter's Legacy? I watched all of Jupiter's Legacy. I have all of the comics done by Mark Miller, the Jupiter's Legacy, and
that was the one with Mr. Fergie,
Jupiter's Circle,
Mr. Fergie, Josh
Duhamel,
whatever his name is.
So they changed the series completely from the actual comic, and the series has been discontinued. They have ended it.
Now, so did they do what they did with Lock and Key, where they turned it from R to?
They definitely did. They tried to make it.
Situation.
They tried to extend it out and tell a longer version. It was a bad idea.
And also
you gotta stick with what he does in the comics.
Dude.
Stick with what he does in the comics, and people like it.
Kick-Ass and Wanted.
Kick-Ass was amazing. Wanted was amazing. He knows what he's doing.
Kingsman 2 was also amazing too. Yeah.
When you try and restrain Mark Miller's properties, it doesn't work out well.
No dice.
But yes, so lots of cool stuff to come here. All right, so Wolf Creek, something like that in the 90s. I don't know what that one. Wolf Creek was a slasher series, not a werewolf series. So yeah, the Riverdale Teen Wolf. That's pretty much what it was.
That's kind of the vibe that I got when I saw the trailers of it.
But
because,
look,
Riverdale
wasn't out yet. Riverdale was like 6 years in the future at that point.
Riverdale was based on cheesy Archie comics. It was goofy, fun.
It was based on Sabrina doing so well. So
that's right, because they did the Sabrina Dark.
They were supposed to be in the same universe. Sabrina was supposed to be a CW show, but it was too dark, so they moved it to Netflix. Exactly.
That's right.
All right, let's move on here. Let's move on.
That actress is great too, man. I hope
she really is.
Continues doing her shit.
All right, so the next story is that Frank Grillo is returning for one more visit to the Purge, even though the Purge, the final Purge, was the last one we got, or the Forever Purge, right? Yeah. Not the last Purge, the Forever Purge.
Yeah, I think it was because it was a successful sort of film.
Emily! Shout out to Emily. Teen Wolf is so good, and Void Styles and Death Doctor scared me to my core. Yes, Styles and his lady. Tell me that Emily. I'm guessing you're a female, but tell me the episode where Styles had to kiss Lydia in order to stop his own hyperventilation wasn't the most sexually charged scene in like a teen drama in a long time. Dude, I'm telling you. All right, does it sound aggressive? No. It was so here's the thing. He's been in love for
it sounds intense.
So he's been in love with Lydia since the first episode of the first season. This is like season 3. They're both in a dire situation. He's freaking out, having a panic attack. It's like a
Dawson and Joey kind of situation.
I don't know. I've never watched Dawson's Creek.
I watched.
He's having a panic attack. The only thing that calms him down is she kisses him, and it calms him down. And they have an actual make-out session where she like kind of enjoys it. And we've been building this up for 3 years, and it's just like, release.
Yes, that's
dude,
very
Teen
much...
Wolf is a great fucking show. I don't care for liking that.
They,
it is
they
so
knew
good.
They knew the archetype, man, because like any sort of show where you want two characters to hook up so badly, and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting.
And they're two side characters, no less. All right, so Frank Grillo was in 2 of the Purge movies. He was in part 2 and part 3.
I think he was in the 2 best Purge movies too.
I agree.
To be fair,
well, I liked Election Year. Was he in Election Year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
But it was the one
Election
after
Year.
that. He was in the first. He was not in the first Purge or the Forever Purge. Right.
Yes. So he was in 2 and 3.
He was in 2. He wasn't in the Purge.
I'm trying
to
remember
what
the hell the name of the second one was.
So the second one was.
Because Election Year was the third one.
Election Year was the third one. The second one was the Purge.
That's the one neither of us can think of right now, for whatever dumb reason.
Whatever. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah, because we had the Purge,
second Purge movie.
Yeah, well, it was the one where he was like on initial security, and then Election Year was where he was like covering the female president.
Anarchy. Yeah, Purge Anarchy.
Yeah,
It's such a generic title. Shit.
But which honestly might be my favorite Purge movie.
I liked Election Year more, honestly. I did.
Okay.
I think I liked.
The
Purge Anarchy is the best template for a Purge movie.
That's where we veered from like
one house
Whitey to
where you
like,
wanted to see
like
what was going on
lower
in the town and everything.
How nasty things could be.
Well, no, but it showed what was
area.
going on a grander scale instead of just one house's worth of the Purge.
Yeah, and then Election Year was where it got all political, which has been kind of a
you know what? I would agree with you then. Anarchy
which has been
might
kind
be
of a
the best.
semblance of the series since then. You know,
second one he saves everyone and all that jazz.
Yeah,
Irish Runner.
No, I've watched so many 2-bit Frank Grillo movies.
Crystal Reed,
that's
the one. So Crystal Reed is the one from Teen Wolf. Yes, she played Abigail, or not Abigail. She played
someone on Supernatural.
In the Swamp Thing TV series.
Oh, I still.
Oh God,
that's
what am I thinking? She
shelf.
played Abby. It's the Swamp Thing continuity. What am I thinking? Oh God. It's
not ultimately important, but I personally would contend everybody that Anarchy is the best Purge film. What did you guys think? Has anybody watched the TV series? They did 2 seasons of a Purge TV series. I never watched any of them.
Well, Emily, yes, it took them forever to get together, yes, but then they fucking killed Crystal Reed. That's what was awesome about Teen Wolf. Like 3 seasons in, they kill the main love interest. She fucking dies. Her dad lives on, Scott lives on, her love interest lives on, but she fucking dies because she went on to have a movie career, one would anticipate. But yeah, like they did crazy shit in that. Arcane! She played Abby Arcane. Thank you, Vincente. Yes, she played Abby Arcane in the Swamp Thing series.
That's something that they've done, though, on a lot of these prominent kind of CWE.
I'm loving the audience interaction tonight.
Like
this is so
sort of
fun.
Series and stuff like that.
Abigail Arcane, Abby Arcane, exactly.
Yeah, just like Supernatural, even though they would bring back dead people a lot of the time, they would still unabashedly kill them. And I have to say that that super host that is on Shudder right now, which I forget the name of the actor, but it's Kevin from Supernatural.
Osric Chow.
Yes, Osric Chow. He is great in this movie about 2 vloggers. This guy who has been dating this girl for a long time, he's going to ask her to marry him, and they happen to stay at the wrong Airbnb, and Barbara Crampton shows up at one point. It's pretty good, man. I mean, it's not amazing. Don't let me make your expectations to be through the roof or anything, but it was very solid, and he is a little charmer, dude. I had forgotten since I haven't seen him in anything in so long. And his death was one of the ones that I cried about the most on the show, man.
I get it.
You know?
I get it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next story. Corey Novak says A Clockwork Orange did a better Purge than The Purge. I've never seen A Clockwork Orange. I haven't seen...
You haven't seen a
Hitchcock movies.
Orange?
Why would I have seen A Clockwork Orange? I've barely seen 2001.
Well, A Clockwork Orange is 7-8 years later. It's mid-70s, dude. I mean, spare some cut through me, brothers.
I know that's the toothpick in the eyes one, right?
No, it's
Yeah.
Well, yeah, where they're
With Michael
holding,
McDonald,
where they're
or
holding them
yeah,
open.
Norm
I'm
McDonald,
sure,
Michael McDonald,
I'm sure you've seen it spoofed on
Mac
The Simpsons.
McDonald.
I'm
What's
sure
his
you've
name?
Seen it spoofed on
What's
The
his
Simpsons.
name? I can't think of his name.
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell. Thank you, Norm McDonald.
Yes. Remember when I was going to interview him and
Yes.
the dude
Yas Queen.
butt posed out and talked for like 30 minutes to him, and
Yep.
I was just like, wow, this is one of
Oh,
the
I
most
pissed off old Darth by saying I haven't seen Clockwork Orange.
Well,
Oh my God, Cecil.
rightfully so. I can't believe he hasn't seen
Clockwork Orange is a bit overrated, though. See, that's how I feel I would think about it, Corey.
It's not one of my favorite movies of all time. I prefer 2000.
Shout out, Corey. Peace to you, brother.
I prefer 2001.
David Prowse. Oh, you mean original Darth Vader? Oh, do I know my film history? David Prowse. Did you know that? David Prowse was Darth Vader, white Darth Vader.
Yes, I know the guy in Jedi.
Let me see your face
Well, which they make
for the
fun.
only time.
Well, which they
No, Luke. Let me see your face.
and he's trying so
I'm so
trying so
I'm so
hard
sorry.
to do a friggin' James Earl Jones, and he's like
Yes.
totally sucking at it. You know, I mean, let's be fair here, but honestly, as far as he goes, aside from 2001, I really enjoy A Clockwork Orange, but I don't love it like 2001 because 2001 is like eat mushrooms and it will
Where
like
are you
wreck,
going, Dave?
wreck your brain. Yes, you've seen 2001,
Oh, yes.
obviously, right?
With Hal? Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and
we
and-
watched
and
it
yet-
in a college course I had, yeah.
Mhm.
In
Yeah,
fact, we were
and yet-
watching it right around
Okay, and
when
then
the towers fell.
Yeah, and then like a lot of other biggies, you've got Full Metal Jacket, which I think is okay. I'm just not the biggest Vietnam guy.
Yeah.
Eyes Wide Shut. He was working on the one that Spielberg finished.
2001?
No. The one that Spielberg finished.
Oh, Eyes Wide Shut.
No, not the one. Not Eyes Wide Shut. The one where Haley Joel Osment.
Oh, AI.
AI. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spielberg finished that one because he was working on that.
I mean, Eyes Wide Shut, whatever.
Barry Lyndon. I'm not the biggest fan of Barry Lyndon. It's too long. It's like one of those and just very.
Clockwork Orange is
indulgent
fucking
sort of
great.
films.
Yeah, you know what? I need to
love
get around to
Clockwork
it.
Orange. I love Clockwork Orange.
Oaks. I don't know if that's how you say the name. I love the Purge TV show. I watched the first episode of the first season of the Purge. It only lasted 2 seasons. I did not get beyond that, so I cannot speak to the Purge TV show. I'll be honest with you. All right, let's move on to the next. Oh no, we didn't even talk about story number 10 yet. Jesus Christ, we've been on this story forever.
No, because we just keep veering because of the alcohol. It's great.
So, horror comedy Black Friday, starring Bruce Campbell and Devon Sawa and Michael Jai White.
It's one we know very
is
little
coming
about,
in
but
November. So
still
Black
very excited
Friday,
about
one
it.
would assume it's a coming in November because it deals with the Black Friday holiday post Thanksgiving, right?
I'll be dead in November. Gonna get tramped on Black Friday.
I don't know that song. Is that a song?
Yeah, it's dude from.
Wow, super memorable.
Well, yes. Thankfully, the alcohol. Fugees, dude.
Oh, the Fugees.
I'll be gone to
Strumming
the...
my pain
No.
with his fingers. No, not that Fugees.
Well, it's when they all started going solo. It wasn't Pross and
Spinning my love with his words.
I'll be going till November. I'll be going till
Killing
November.
him softly with his song. Killing him softly
I'll kill you softly.
with his song. Spending my whole life with his word. Killing me softly with his song. Bam, bam,
I'll be
bam,
going till November.
No, I really am excited about this. Look, Bruce Campbell and Devon Sawa has been knocking it out of the park. Him in Hunter x Hunter. I had no idea he was even in Hunter x Hunter until after I had watched Hunter x Hunter.
You didn't write because I called
No,
it out to
I
you.
didn't.
And then
I
remember,
know,
even in the Chucky trailer, you were just like...
Did not
you were
no.
like,
I'm
oh,
like,
that's
where's Devon Sawa?
I'm like, well, he's all grossed up.
Because he's all grown up with a beard. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's
Fair
not
enough.
doing like goofy comedy anymore. I mean, Devon Sawa for me was
Sebastian Shaw when he saw Vader. So where's David Prowse? What was it? Wore the suit through the movies, but never seen unmasked. Nerding over. No, thank you for the correction, Cinema Mike. But so David Prowse was Darth Vader, though. I wasn't wrong about that. Okay, thank you. News with Booze. Cecil does karaoke. I'm sorry, Joshua.
No, we
I'm
tried
so sorry.
karaoke for the birthdays, and
It did well.
Well, I mean, I just did that one song.
Stop singing in through your nose, Diane says. I need to sing from my diaphragm.
I'll be gone till November. I'll be gone till November. But no, befittingly, ahead of the film's world premiere at Fantastic Fest, Black Friday, which is a horror comedy. So with Campbell and Devon Sawa teaming up, I'm actually very happy to potentially see Devon Sawa back in the role. Like, he was great in Hunter x Hunter, but he was serious as shit in that movie, and rightfully so. I want more.
Again, I had no idea it was him until afterwards. I was like, "Wait, wasn't Devon Sawa in this movie?"
Hands, you know,
love
like,
that.
I mean,
Final Destination, bitch.
Well, there wasn't really that much comedy in Final Destination. There's a moderate amount. There's like funny deaths, like where Stifler gets his head cut off, where he's just like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah, but when you're
okay,
I'm just saying. I'm just giving credit for Devon Sawa for kicking ass in that.
He's great in Little Giants too. You know. Crickets. Anyway. But this film is coming out in November of 2021, according to Variety, which is really dope. And it will presumably be a VOD direct release because, yeah, I don't know if I would, for the premise alone, go and spend like $12-15 to go see this, but for all of us being able to share it and laugh about it, and just the pairing of two dudes that I like and respect a lot. Sawa told Bloody Discussing last year, we've relied on old-fashioned filmmaking. Robert Kurtzman, the SFX team, has all prosthetics. It's like you walk onto where we're shooting, and there's rooms of like heads and a whole team of people painting. So, I mean, without going into because it's an extensive quote, I'm excited about hearing that Campbell and Sawa are teaming for something that is gonna maybe flesh out the initial scene of one of our later stories, which is the beginning of Krampus.
Okay.
Which is our next story. You see how
I doubt that's what's going to happen, but it's a good transition nonetheless, Fuego.
You see how I led that in?
Alright, so apparently Shout Factory's Krampus the Naughty Cut will now be released in December instead of November. If you guys didn't know, Krampus the Naughty Cut is the R-rated version of Krampus with extra scenes put back in.
The one we all thought we were going to get initially, and then they trimmed that shit down.
Indeed, they trimmed it. Look, it was still fun. I did not like Krampus when we originally reviewed it. You and me out front of the theater in 2015.
Yeah, it was in front of the Harkins by my house.
In
dude.
front of the
Cryptown.
Yes, Cryptown.
Cryptown, as you so affectionately call it.
But then we did a review later on, and I did a separate full review where I did Krampus, but Universal blocked the review, so no, I can't show it to anyone except through our Patreon page. So, yes, Krampus the Naughty Cut, I'm very excited about, and I'm excited that it's still coming out, whether it's November or December, I don't care. Apparently it's December 7th. So that leaves plenty of time. Oh, God.
I'm trying to see how much
that leaves plenty of time to watch it ahead of Christmas this year.
Yeah, truly. I'm trying to see how much additional time it's actually throwing into it. DGAF doesn't matter.
It's got a bunch of, it's got still a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff.
It's probably just going to have more, like, F-bombs and stuff, because I feel like, you know,
it might have more gore, though. Remember, it's got the puppet thing eating kids at one point. Like, could be cool shit like that.
It did show it in a more, like, slightly subdued manner, I suppose. Yeah. You know, just, like, cut out the blood and the gores, and maybe some of the screens, which I think would have, you know, potentially mess things up, but
alright,
so
story number 12. There's a new Lost Boys movie in development with the young actors from A Quiet Place and Stephen King's It involved. Fuego, what are your thoughts on the new Quiet Place movie?
The new Lost Boys movie, you know, they're trying to...
Oh, sorry, Lost Boys. I said Quiet Place.
Yeah,
I meant Lost Boys.
You're fine. They've been trying to, like, reinvigorate this for a long time. We've read the comics and, you know, done some reviews and stuff about them, which has been fine. Vertigo did one, and then I believe Wildstorm did the other one that preceded it. But as early as a couple years ago, they were trying to do like a Lost Girls sort of thing, and it was going to be a generational sort of situation where it was going to follow vampires from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s, and so they were thinking it was going to be a multi-seasonal sort of thing. It was optioned by the CW. CW didn't pick it up, and so they obviously went back to the drawing board with this, and that's why they are now doing a Lost Boy film. God damn this!
All right. It's
look
freaking out on him.
Yeah, the phone is freaking out. It's driving me nuts. This is a 6S Apple, everybody. It's like, dude, it's
freaking out
it's
on
going
you.
maniacally. Biggest thing, though, is that we're going to have the brother from A Quiet Place, and then we're going to have our Big Bill from The Lost Boys. And so I don't know if they're going to be like the older and the younger brother, or if they're going to be the Frog Brothers potentially.
Hopefully, just the Frog Brothers.
I would hopefully, based on how
I don't like either
based
one
on how
for
how
either the
young
big
they
brother
look,
or the protagonist.
Yeah, most definitely not. So I've been very weary of them rebooting this project for the longest time. Not that I don't think it's about time to do it, but there was a certain just sort of,
I feel like Lost Boys is timeless.
Sexual stylism.
I just
about
don't feel
this.
like it needs to be redone.
Yeah. I mean, there is such a of the era attractiveness to everybody involved. Like the fucking punk rock dudes, like the love interest, and even big old Beefcake, you know, who showed up on the Gunship albums and stuff like that. Yeah, Beefcake. So, yeah, I'm still just. It was very PG-13 despite its R rating initially, and so I can't fault it if they try to veer more so into that sort of territory. It's not gonna upset me that much, but just prequels and different interpretations and sequels and stuff have worked a lot better for me in comparison with them just trying to full-on remake the original story. And so, like work within the mythology, I would be much more so about that, but I don't think that's happening with some of the casting that we're seeing. I think they are going to basically not do a rebequel, as Cecil coined that term a few years ago since him and I have been working together. I think they're going full-on remake, and I mixed feelings. Maybe set it somewhere else as opposed to California. Maybe just, I don't know what else you could do to make it distinctive aside from, different location, different ethnicity. These are the big things that we are deliberately going to because it does give us a more unique perspective. But I don't feel like we're getting that so far from what I'm seeing. So.
No, I don't think so necessarily either. But it could be good. I don't know. I can't begrudge the actors. It just depends on how the movie plays out. But I
really like the kid who plays Big Bill. His name is eluding me. He was actually just cast for Mr. Harrigan's Phone.
Not only that, he was in the live-action Rick and Morty shorts.
Oh, was
with
yes,
Christopher Lloyd playing
you sent me
Rick
that.
And him playing Morty.
Yeah. So he has to. He is more so than just like stuttering Bill, obviously, and dude,
I still believe. Corey, just put that in the chat.
And homie, he was such a twisted little bitch in the lodge.
Ooh,
remember? He was the older brother in the lodge. And he was a little.
Okay. Well, you're talking about him.
Yeah.
I was talking about the saxophone guy from the Lost Boys.
Oh no! But I'm talking about.
I still believe.
No. He was also on the Gunship song, man.
Yes, exactly. Gunship. Exactly. All right. So, final story, guys, is that Never Hike Alone 2
awesome, by the way.
has been announced to be a full-length feature instead of 3 separate crowd-funded features. So, Never Hike in the Snow did well enough where Vince and his team were like, look, for the next one, let's just try and crowdfund a full-length feature to tie this whole thing off rather than doing 3 separate crowdfunding campaigns. So that's the plan, and so we're finally going to get Jason versus Tommy Jarvis, aka Tom Matthews, once again, following up on the Never Hike Alone ending. And yeah, so all that good stuff is coming.
Presumed trilogy ending then.
Yes, presumably so.
Nice, nice.
So I'm excited about that. Good for Vin, and if it comes together well, then look, all those eyes can only help Dylan's new nightmare. So, second.
No, amen to that, man. Everything that Vince has done, despite even shifting up, well, shit, despite is not the proper term. You know, even with shifting over to help produce various others, and with kind of varying results in that regard, like his own personal stuff, like all the Never Hike has been
Amazing.
It was amazing, and it was essentially what started, in a lot of ways, in my estimation, this whole just floodgates opening of people wanting to see fan films. And it's a topic we've discussed countless times, and he did it with such a distinctiveness and very different than anything that I had seen previously. I mean, doing a found footage Jason movie was pretty dope, dude. And then
It is well done.
yes, it was very well done, and you had so much burden on that lead performer whose name I can't recall, unfortunately.
Andrew.
But well, last name. Andrew did a terrific job, and news with booze, thankfully. But yeah, he carried the film, and I don't think that would have been as respected or just prominently just shared around if not for the fact that Vince had been directing him well, and yet also it was a two-way street. The ability of both your director and the entire very small team behind the project, and also scouting a great place to actually film in and various other things. And so yeah, I love Never Hike in the Snow. I thought it was really rad status, and even if I haven't just been over the moon for some of the stuff that Womp Stomp has helped produce separately, I cannot wait to see the continuation of this series, and obviously all of the stuff that Vinny is gonna, Mr. DeSanti is gonna bring to Dylan's, now that it is finally looking like Dave is gonna be able to.
Things are gonna open up soon.
Move around, and we can.
I'm guessing we'll be shooting this thing
it.
by March. That's my guess.
Very nice, very nice.
So anyway, yeah, Never Hike Alone 2. I'm excited the fact that it's gonna be able to be a full-length feature. They're gonna be able to focus on Tom Matthews and everyone else that they're bringing back. They're gonna be able to actually finish the whole story rather than doing 3 more sort of stutter steps, and it paves the way for us, and I'm excited. I hope it does really well, and I think it's gonna be awesome.
True.
So guys, that's gonna do it for this week's Horror News with Booze.
This month's news with booze.
This month, yes. Oh my God,
yeah.
Jesus Christ. So next week, again, if you guys are interested, I'm going to be doing, well, the plan is to be doing a Chucky series prequel, or not prequel, but sort of guessing what's going to happen on the series. We are going to be airing our Chucky tier list ranking either next Sunday or Saturday ahead of said special. Ideally, I do have a guest coming on for the Chucky special, but I don't want to announce that until I've secured that for sure. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to everyone that was joining the chat. If you haven't joined before, we greatly appreciate you showing up. We had someone from Italy showing up earlier. I meant to read the comment and I totally forgot, but we've had people all over the globe and we love to see that. So thank you guys so much for having fun with us tonight. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. The link to that is in the description box down below. But until next time, until tomorrow, when you see our trailer reaction, including our reaction to the newest Chucky TV series trailer, going up tomorrow, I've been Cecil Laird.
And gracias a Fuego.
And remember, stay scared, y'all. Have a good night.